Hello and welcome to Superscreen News, broadcasting live from Lagos State, Nigeria. I am Olamide Onka. Many thanks for joining us. The Federal High Court in Abuja has granted bail to the immediate past National Security Advisor, NSA Sambo Dasuki, from the custody of the Department of State Services, where he has been detained for 2.5 years. Delivering the judgment in the suit filed by the former NSA in March this year, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu ruled that his detention since December 29, 2015 amounted to a violation of his right to liberty. The judge, who rejected the former NSA's prayer for 5 billion naira damages, granted him bail in the sum of 200 million naira with two shorties who must either be civil servants of grade level 16 at the minimum in the federal civil service or private citizen who have landed properties in the municipal areas of Abuja.
We have to give glory to God that the judiciary has vindicated the stand and the liberty of the applicant, because the whole essence of this ruling today is that the detention of Colonel Sambo Dasuki since 2015 is illegal, and the court has ordered that he be released on bail. And I'm pleading with the government to comply with the order of the court. After all, it is the same court they have referred the matters to. It is the same court that will try all the cases, be it arms, money laundering, or whatever you. And it is only the court, as of today, that can jail or free. So if the very court you have applied to for punishment or for trial, you are not obeying the orders, then that may pose a moral problem in future, because you can't ridicule my order and come to me for an indulgence. I hope it will not come to that.
The newly appointed Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, Audu Sule Katagom, has been sworn in. This followed his recent screening and confirmation by the Bauchi State House of Assembly last Friday. In his acceptance speech shortly after taking the oath of office, Katagom promised to support the administration in ensuring the delivery of dividends of democracy to the people of the state in the remaining period of its tenure. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has raised an alarm over attempts by unscrupulous elements to clone permanent voters' card, PVCs. INEC disclosed this in a statement made available by its Director, Voter Education and Publicity, Oluwole Osaze Ozi. The Commission, however, said there was no cause for worry, as it is nearly impossible for the PVCs to be cloned, adding that it is already working to further secure the PVCs and the smart card readers, and will continue to protect them from unauthorized and malicious access of individuals. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Kaduna State, Lawal Adamu Usman, has dumped the party. He disclosed his resignation in a letter addressed to the chairman of Ungwa Dosa Ward in Kaduna North local government area and copied to Governor Nasser El-Rufai, the national chairman of APC, Adams Oshiomhole, the leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, and President Muhammad Buhari. Usman said he left the party because of alleged indiscriminate persecution of party members with the aim of restricting their aspirations in the coming 2019 general elections. The Apex Fulani Socio-Cultural Organization, Miyeti Allah Kotal, has rejected calls for the sacking of the security chiefs. The Secretary General of the group, Saleh Al-Hassan, disclosed this in an interview with journalists. Al-Hassan rejected suggestions that herdsmen from other countries should be prevented from grazing their cattle in Nigeria. He also said the ECOWAS Free Trade Protocol guarantees free movement, adding that the herdsmen do not recognize international boundaries, which he described as colonial creations. They will recall that a large section of Nigerians, including the National Assembly and governors, has called on President Muhammad Buhari to sack the security chiefs for failing to protect the lives and properties of Nigerians. However, Alassane said those calling for the sack of the security chiefs are corrupt politicians who deserve another chance. Meanwhile, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the fierce competition for power and President Muhammadu Buhari's unrelenting war on corruption are responsible for an upsurge of violent conflict in Nigeria. Shehu disclosed this to journalists at the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Abuja. The presidential aide said many people, especially the rich and the powerful, has thought the war against anti-graft was a joke until the president, with the support of a reformed judiciary, showed no sign of backing down. The International Society of Civil Liberties and the Rules of Law into Society has claimed that herdsmen and Boko Haram insurgents have in the first 6 months of 2018 killed 1,750 Christians and other Muslims. In a statement by Inter-Society Board Chairman Emeka Umeagbalasi, it said the herdsmen also killed 8,800 Nigerians, mostly Christians, in the 3 years from June 2015 to June 2018. According to the group, the number of churches and other sacred places of worship destroyed and burnt in the past 3 years are not less than 1,000 places in total. And now the Plateau Initiative for Development and Advancement of the Native, SPIDAN, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to reshuffle the security of the country over killings of persons in the state by suspected Fulani militias. Chairman of PIDAN, Aboy Madaki, who disclosed this to journalists in Jos, said the group is set to drag the federal government to the International Criminal Court of Justice, ICCJ, if nothing is done to address the incessant killings witnessed across the country. Members of the Law Officers Association of Nigeria, LOAN, in Calabar, Cross River State Capital, has staged a protest complaining about the delay in harmonization of their salaries with magistrates in the state. The state chairman of a chapter, Mneji Amajama, has accused the state attorney general and commissioner for justice, Joe Abang, of frustrating every effort aimed at resolving the crisis, maintaining that no lawyer will resume at the ministry until the matter is settled in their favor. Protesting lawyers who were received by the acting governor of the state, Professor Ivara Esu, vowed to continue the protest until the government bowed to their demand. However, the acting governor, Professor Ivara Esu, has promised to do everything in his power to resolve the protest. The former chairman, Federal Civil Service Commission, Shuaibu Kazore, has been reported dead. Governor Badaru said he received the sad news of the death of Shuaibu with shock and described the deceased as an elder in the state who served the nation in various capacities, such as the Federal Commissioner of Aviation in 1976 to 1979. The Jigawa State Governor, Badaru Abubakar, confirmed this in a statement. The governor, on behalf of the government and people of Jigawa State, commiserates with the Emir of Kazore and the deceased family, as well as the entire Muslim Ummah, for the irreparable loss of the statesman. The management of the Yaba College of Education, Lagos State, has expelled 19 students of the institution over various offenses relating to examination malpractice. The Yaba Tech spokesman, Undubueze Ejiofor, said it is standard practice that once a student is caught cheating in the exam, he or she will face the music as stated in the student's handbook. Ejiofor said the circulars indicates that the academic board of the institution took the decision on behalf of the management as its meeting variously held on 28th of May, 30th of May, and 7th of June, respectively. The affected students belong to the various departments within the school and cut across both full-time and part-time programs in the institution. And now you're watching Superscreen News. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some business stories. Stay with us. Welcome back to Superscreen News. Many thanks for staying with us. And now for some business stories. Report says the National Assembly has reduced the allocations of 4,700 projects of ministries, departments and agencies of the federal government to the tune of 347.55 billion naira. Documents obtained from the Budget Office of the Federation in Abuja showed that 25 MDAs were affected by the reduction in allocation for the capital projects. An analysis of the documents obtained from the Budget Office shows that 25 MDAs were affected by the cuts to the 4,700 projects. According to reports, the most affected by the reduction in allocation is the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, which has funds on 1,135 projects caught by the lawmakers. You will recall that President Muhammadu Buhari, while signing the 2018 budget last month, had said it would be difficult to effectively implement the programs of his administrations as contained in the budget as passed, owing to the several extortions made to the documents by the lawmakers. The Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NETI, says it has assisted the federal government to recover over $3 billion from oil and gas companies operating in the country. The Executive Secretary, Naiti Waziri, said while addressing the International Board of Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative at its meeting in Berlin, Germany. According to a statement issued in Abuja by NETI's Director of Communications and Advocacy, Ogbonaya Oji, Adio told the AT board that recoverable revenues in excess of $20 billion in the sector has been disclosed by NETI reporters over the years. He said the recoverable revenues were from process lapses leading to underassessment or underpayment of taxes, royalties, and signature bonuses, and others. Still in business, the Association of Retired Federal Senior Public Officers of Nigeria, AFISPON, has called on the federal government to pay the pension arrears of its members and address all the pending issues. The chairman, AFISPON, Olufemi Odewabi, who disclosed this to journalists in our Lagos state, called on the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to help the pensioners out of their unpleasant situation. Odewabi recalled that there was a presidential order on the increase in salary in the year 2010, but while the increase was effected for serving government workers, the law mandating the implementation of pension increase had not been fully implemented. He also said, under the immediate past administration, a committee was set up to review the presidential order, after which it came up with an unacceptable report and reduced the payable increase to pensions to 33% from 53% in 2010. And now the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, says there will be no more room for negotiations with debtors as it's now set for the new stage in a complete takeover of assets. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of AMCON, Ahmed Kudu, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, said the 5.4 trillion debt had lingered for too long. Kuru said AMCON has gotten tired of debtors coming to its office and telling lies about wanting to embark on a staggered payment. He also said most part of the 5.4 trillion naira debt has been with the banks for 5 years before AMCON bought them over, adding that after several years of its impression, the debtors are yet to pay up. For some international business stories, the United States Commerce Department has recommended against approval of China Mobile's 7-year-old application to enter into the domestic market, citing the national security concerns. Commerce Department Assistant Secretary David Reddo said after significant engagement with China Mobile, concerns about increased risks to the U.S. law enforcement and national security interests were unable to be resolved. Reddo also said Donald Trump administration has moved to punish Chinese telecoms firm ZTE, banning U.S. companies from selling crucial hardware and software components to the country for 7 years. Report says the move marks the latest blast from the U.S. under President Donald Trump and his growing trade dispute with China. We'll go on another short break now. When we return, we'll take some foreign news plus give you the sports stories. Stay with us.
Before they come, they're supposed to, give us some information, notice. at least maybe a week or so. There was nothing like that.
Hunger is everywhere in Nigeria. People are dying every day, but Nigeria government are keeping quiet.